Hello and welcome to my pickup truck in the parking lot outside Raymond James Stadium, where I was here to watch round number 6 of the 2023 Super Motocross and Supercross Championship here. And tonight's winner was Cooper Webb in 450 and Hunter Lawrence in 250. I was up there in the stands as a fan with a group of friends, and man, it was some good racing. And you may notice I sound a little hoarse. I do know how to use my diaphragm. I've used it in my Civil Air Patrol days. I've used it in my improv theatre. And I do not know how to use it when I'm in the stadium at a racing event. I just yell my voice off, and then I don't have a voice for the next day afterward. But yeah, no, the 250 race, I mean, Hayden Deegan won his heat race, so that was really cool to see. Got to witness a little bit of history there. By the way, you might be able to tell there's raindrops on the window here. It has been raining on and off here, and it was, you know, it was frustrating in the stands. We were kind of hoping it wouldn't rain, but at the same time, it made it a little bit interesting, you know, seeing if that altered the tracks at all during the races. Not sure it did, but yeah, so Hayden Deegan won his heat race, so that's cool for him, because I was a little skeptical of him coming up. You know, I thought, well, he's popular because he's got a good YouTube channel. That doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna bring it, you know, in these actual racing in 250, but man, he's proving me wrong. He's doing a great job out there. But when it came main event time, I made a $1 bet with my friend that I was with. He would win the dollar if Hayden Deegan won. I would win the dollar if Hunter Lawrence won. And Hunter Lawrence did win, actually, and I didn't get my dollar. Oh well. But anyway, Hayden Deegan obviously didn't win. Looked like Nate Sasha would win. I was going to be happy for him, but then, man, the last lap happened. Hayden Deegan, Hunter Lawrence caught right up. They banned handlebars with 2 turns to go. The fans all shot up on their feet like meerkats when that happened. And then in the final turn, obviously, I'll tell you, my friend pointed out to me, he said, man, Nate Strasher didn't really do a great job of defending his position in that final turn. And when I watched the replay, I kind of realised, yeah, he was right. There was probably a little bit more Nate could have done there. But kudos to Hunter. It was a great battle, great little comeback for him. And that was definitely fun to watch. And, of course, to follow, that was the 450 main event. My friend who I was with, he hasn't really been keeping up with Supercross too much throughout the year, but he has I think the word is affinity for the KTM brand, and so he said, okay, I'll cheer on the KTM riders, especially when he found out the kind of personality that Aaron Plessinger has. And I texted a couple of my work friends during the 450, after the 450 heats. I said, I think they've switched Aaron Plessinger and Cooper Webb onto each other's bikes and not told anyone, because these last couple of weeks, Cooper Webb's been fading a little bit and Aaron Plessinger's been right up there, or at least before the main event. And, man, KTM, you know, did really well tonight. They, I think, they probably finished first and third there in the end, so kudos to them. And Trace Sexton, who was my pick to win the race in my RM Fantasy SX picks. Again, I don't get to win prizes because I'm a failed employee, but still I pick them for bragging rights. I had Sexton winning the race and looked like he would, and then he crashed there late on, giving Cooper Webb a win. So yeah, no, it is nice to see some competition, some parity in the 450 field there. You know, we're seeing Tomac win, we're seeing Sexton win, now we're seeing Webb win, we're also seeing Anderson do well, so we're having a very competitive field in 450. I was kind of, even though I would have lost the dollar, which I never won anyway, I was kind of hoping that Nate Thrasher would win that 250 East race, just because it would have meant Hunter Lawrence didn't, and that would create a bit of competition in 250 East as well. And, you know, Nate's there knocking on the door. A couple of other riders, I think, are going to be knocking on the door for the win soon as well, but overall, I think Hunter Lawrence will end up winning that championship. But you got to say, in 450, it's kind of hard to predict who's going to be that champion right now. I think Tomac is still probably the favourite, but nights like tonight, he just wasn't there, was he? I mean, granted, it was raining on and off. There was a long sand section. I don't know a lot about mud, but I'm assuming the mud's probably a little bit different compared to a lot of the tracks down here in Florida. No, Tomac just wasn't there. Overall, it's always a great event. You know, I'm a Feld employee, but I work in an office building 40 hours a week, and sometimes it's easy to forget the productions, what we actually are able to put on for the fans. And the nice thing about Supercross is it does what Feld wants, and it does what motorsports fans want. It's a great combination of both. You know, Feld wants to put on entertaining shows that the whole family can enjoy. It does that, and motorsport fans want to see great motor racing, and we definitely were delivered for that tonight. So it was an entertaining night. That being said, a couple other updates on NASCAR side of things, on iRacing side of things. NASCAR side of things, they raced at the LA Coliseum for their Busch Clash race last weekend. I don't like races where there's no consequences for getting spun. Does that make sense? You know, they could run into each other, spin each other around. There's no damage. Caution laps don't count, so the race wasn't going anywhere, and you were just shuffling the order all the time. Maybe as a fan it would be fun, because it's like, oh, this is going to be a long night. We get to watch lots of racing and lots of drivers getting annoyed at each other. But they're sitting at home watching on TV. I'm just like, can we get some green flag racing in? But then someone pointed out on Twitter, you know, there was a meme out there kind of criticizing all the people saying, hey, let's take the Busch Clash back to Daytona, and they kind of cherry-picked an image of them all running single file around the Busch Clash at Daytona like they used to do. Of course, sometimes a lot of teams will use a Daytona 500 car during the Busch Clash, and so they wouldn't want to risk tearing it up. So I definitely see both sides of the argument there. I don't think it's the best race NASCAR puts on at that track. I get the prestige of it. Maybe I'd feel differently if I was there. It sounded like it was a good event to be at. I just didn't think much of a race sitting home and watching it on TV. iRacing side of things, I can't give you an accurate update because I thought some kind of box was meant to arrive today, and I haven't got a notification from UPS that it has. But hopefully it's sitting on my doorstep. But long story short is I have everything I need except for the monitor stand. And as soon as I get the monitor stand, which I hoped was arriving today, but I guess it hasn't, so hopefully it should arrive later this week. And I also need to purchase a couple of HDMI to DisplayPort cables. Probably should get on that. We'll wire that all in, and hopefully we'll have 3 monitors to do the racing on, 1 monitor above for time and scoring up in a not too distant future. Alright, that's everything. See you all around.